a soft harmonic chime indicating the activation of a recording device. The ambient background is completely silent. The sterile, perfect quiet of an alien dreadnought's command deck. A long, shuddering exhalation of breath from the speaker. I am recording this for the High Council archives, though I doubt the grand arithmeticians will comprehend it. I barely comprehend it myself. My primary neural node still throbs when I attempt to process the variables. There is a fundamental flaw in our understanding of the universe, or rather, there is a fundamental flaw in the species known as humanity. For 10,000 cycles, the galaxy has been a place of elegant logic. War, as we know it, is a mathematical certainty. Two fleets meet in the vacuum of space. The tactical AI networks communicate, assessing shield harmonics, weapons yield, mass, and positioning. Millions of simulations are run in a microsecond. The victor is calculated, the loser is informed, and the defeated party powers down their engines. Planets are exchanged, administrative borders are redrawn. Nobody dies. Why would they? Death is an inefficient waste of biomass when the outcome is already a statistical guarantee. This is the civilized way. This is the math. 3 cycles ago, my fleet intercepted a small Terran convoy in the asteroid shoals of Sector 4. They were insignificant. 2 escort frigates and 4 heavy cargo haulers. Their ships were offensive to the eye, blocky, asymmetrical, built from absurdly dense alloys. They looked less like void craft and more like industrial tools hurled into the dark. We had 22 dreadnoughts. We surrounded them in a perfect spherical blockade. Our tactical matrix ran the equation. A soft, harmonic chime indicating a flawless calculation. The probability of Terran survival was exactly 0.0000%. A beautiful, absolute zero. The math was pure. I authorized the transmission of the protocol of inevitability, informing the Terran commander that their defeat was absolute and requesting their immediate engine shutdown to facilitate peaceful boarding. I even felt a mild logical satisfaction. We were sparing them. While we waited for their reactor cores to dim, I reviewed their biological abstracts. I had to understand what we were about to board. I wish I had never opened that file. Humans originate from a Class 9 death world. Extreme gravity, aggressive microorganisms, violent tectonic instability. To survive there, their bodies are overbuilt and inelegant. Dense bone, violent thermal regulation, a stimulant-dependent nervous system. Their biology does not strive for beauty. It strives to remain functional after punishment that would kill a civilized being several times over. That should have warned me. A sudden, sharp warning klaxon from an alien console. The Terran reactors did not dim. Instead, our sensors detected a massive spike in thermal output. The ambient temperature around their crude ships began to boil the surrounding microscopic space dust. At first, I assumed it was a catastrophic malfunction. Then the comms channel opened. Crackling audio static, the heavy, wet sound of a human breathing, the distant groan of metal under extreme stress. I heard the Terran captain. His voice was deep, strained, and leaking a localized biological frequency that my translator identified as malice. He did not negotiate. He did not plead. He spoke a single, completely illogical phrase. "Tell your math to go to hell." I have spent 3 cycles dissecting that sentence. Hell is a mythological human concept, a theoretical dimension of endless punishment. How does one send a mathematical construct there? It is a paradox, a linguistic void, madness. But he was not trying to be logical. A low, ominous mechanical rumbling starts in the background, growing steadily louder. My sensor officer announced that the Terrans were experiencing a massive power reroute. I watched the holographic display, expecting them to charge their kinetic batteries. Their weapon banks remained dark. Instead, they shut down their life support. I repeat this for the archives because my own superiors have accused me of a sensor malfunction. The humans intentionally severed power to their oxygen scrubbers. They deactivated artificial gravity. They turned off thermal shielding in their crew compartments. They began to freeze and suffocate themselves. On purpose. Why? Because they needed the power. Every spare volt, every ounce of fusion plasma meant to keep their fragile bodies alive. They forced it all into their primary thrusters. They vented their remaining oxygen into the combustion chambers to create an artificial super burn. The deafening, tearing roar of primitive rocket engines burning beyond their safety limits. They were already dead. The moment they cut life support, the math declared them deceased. They were corpses strapped into metal tombs. But they did not stop moving. This is the biological horror my abstracts warned me of, a chemical they produce internally, adrenaline, an evolutionary cheat code. When faced with certain death, the human brain floods the body with a stimulant so powerful it can ignore torn muscles, shattered bones, and the agonizing lack of oxygen. It allows them to remain conscious long after the equation says they have expired. They did not shoot at us, they simply drove their ships forward. 6 massive hunks of Class 9 metal, accelerating at a speed that was tearing their own hulls apart. They turned their burning freighters into kinetic missiles. "Evade!" I ordered. But how do you evade a corpse that refuses to stop running? Our energy shields are designed to absorb plasma and deflect lasers. They are not designed to stop 50,000 tons of solid steel propelled by pure, illogical hatred. A horrific, echoing crash of metal shattering against metal, followed by the shrieking alarm of a dying dreadnought. I watched from the bridge as the lead human cargo hauler, a ship they had named the Lucky Bastard, an act of emotional attachment to an inanimate object that borders on pathology, slammed directly into the side of our flagship. The impact shattered the dreadnought's spine in a microsecond. I watched 2 more of our elegant vessels get torn in half by the escorts. The humans were burning up in their own compartments, their consoles exploding in their faces, their bodies crushed by the G-force, and yet the final visual transmission we intercepted from their bridge showed the Terran captain. He was bleeding from his optical cavities, his jaw was shattered, and he was smiling. The audio log crackles, picking up Xylar's ragged, uneven breathing. We lost 4 dreadnoughts that day, to a fleet of freighters, to a mathematical impossibility. We retreated. I sit in my quarters now and look at the tactical algorithms that have guided our civilization for millennia. They are perfect, they are flawless, and they are completely useless against a species that views probability as a personal insult. We retreat when the odds are 3-1. The human smiled as his internal organs ruptured and asked his engines for more speed. You cannot calculate spite. You cannot negotiate with a creature that looks at a 0% chance of survival and decides to use its last breath to break your nose. The High Council believes this was a localized anomaly. They are planning a full-scale offensive against the Terran homeworld. They say we have a 98.4% chance of total victory. They do not understand. The humans are not fighting to win. They are fighting to make sure we lose. And I am terrified that they will succeed.